Hey guys, Nick here with my 03 GTI 20th anniversary. I've got a small little project today. The car has a check engine light due to a bad sensor. So I'm going to try to show you how to replace this today. This is for the camshaft position sensor. Let me show you the code that it's been throwing. This is using the ECS Tuning V102 scanner. It actually came in very handy. I'll put all of the information in the description as well in case you can't see that, but this says 17748 P1340 camshaft position sensor G40 engine speed sensor G28 incorrect allocation. Then it goes on from there. The only performance differences that I've seen since I've had this particular engine light is a slight dip in idling RPMs. So it will go from, I don't know, it'll drop maybe 50 to 75 RPM, like a really quick dip. And I mean, we're talking like a second. So it'll dip and then retain, then go back to its original idle. So it's just a very intermittent rough idle. I have not ruled out the possibility of a vacuum leak, but this is the code that the car is throwing, and I do have the new part here, so we're going to go ahead and replace that today. Here's what the part looks like. This is your camshaft position sensor. This is not OEM. This is, I actually do not know who makes this one. It's not Mile. It's another company. I will throw it in the description as well. These sensors new are about $160 via OEM, so I opted for the much less expensive option there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a very quick little swap out. So all you need are two tools to do this whole job. You need a 10mm socket. I've got this paired up with a 1/2" ratchet, and you need a large Phillips head screwdriver there. So I'm going to sit you down and we'll get started, and I'll try to show you, I'll get some close-ups for you so you know exactly what you're doing here. So this is, if you don't know, this is a 1.8 liter turbo engine from Volkswagen with the engine code AWP. This is what you're looking at here. So first steps are to remove this engine cover here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, 4 screws here. Mine is missing one, but I will sit you down and we'll get started. Okay, so let's start on the engine cover here. We're going to start back here, and my little tip here is to get one hand up under the lip and slightly pull up as you are unscrewing. I mean, like a quarter of a turn, and they release. Same thing here, get your hand up under here, start unscrewing, and it pops off. There's another one here. And mine is missing one there, like I said. So this should simply lift up. And we will set this aside. Let me show you what we're looking at now. So you are looking at the top of the cylinder head, and where we're going to go is in this area here. This is the timing belt cover. We have 2 clips that we need to undo. We have one right here. Focus for you, please. There you go. One clip here. And we have one clip right down here on that side. You may not be able to see it, but you will find it if your car does still have the timing belt cover. We will unclip, unclip. Now, I'm not going to take this completely out. There's no sense in completely removing it. It's in there pretty well with all the vacuum lines and fuel lines coming in. So let's just leave it there. Now, we're just going to simply lift up and shift it to the side. Just give yourself enough room to get to the 2 bolts that are here. So, I have enough room here to where I can work with it. Let me show you. This is your sensor right here. That's what we're going for. So you have two bolts that are holding in along with an electrical connector for the sensor itself. So you have a bolt right here on the right side and then straight on the left side there. And if you look at your sensor, you'll see those. And that's where our 10mm wrench is going to come in place. So let's set you back down. Again, no sense in taking out the cover here, just enough so you can get your ratchet in here. Now this is a 1/2 inch drive socket and ratchet here, so if you have a 3/8 or a 1/4 inch, you can certainly get it in here with enough room if I can get a 1/2 inch drive in here. So I've got those broken loose, and I'm going to take them out the rest of the way by hand. What I meant to say here is that it is easier to unbolt the sensor with the connector still connected. I find it much easier to disconnect it while it's still on the sensor. It just gives you a lot more space to work with if you can just pull it all out at once and then have it there available to work with. So, almost got this out here. Okay, so set your two bolts aside, do not lose them. And let me show you what we're left with here. So we're left with, you should be able to then pick it up and kind of set it out. It does have some slack in the connector and the cabling there, so just set it up. This is what you're looking at. The next step is the electrical connector itself. And what you'll see here is this little clip here. And all you do is get something up underneath. I'm going to use my same screwdriver. You can use a flathead or whatever. Get it up underneath and pull up. It will simply come up and it will allow this connector to release. So let me do that right now. So I'm simply taking the tip of the screwdriver. Make sure you have your fingers here so you can catch it. Don't want that flying out anywhere. I'm going to go up. And it's released. Take your clip out, set it aside. Do not lose that. And simply pull off the sensor. Leave that there. Let me get the new part. Here's the new sensor. We're going to simply reverse that whole process. Take the sensor, plug it in. We're going to take our clip. This does have a slight load on it. It is spring loaded basically. So we will get it aligned and firmly set it in place. There you are with the connected electrical connection there with your clip. It is not going anywhere. You can't pull that out. Now get the cable back in place and get your sensor lined up there. You cannot get this wrong. I mean, the bolts are there in a way that they will line up. So just two bolts. So we will get these started here. I'm going to get one started here by hand pretty far just to keep it in place. Okay, second bolt. Okay, now we're ready to tighten it down. The manual for these bolts actually says 7 foot-pounds of torquing. That is very little, so do not over-tighten these. Just get them very snug to where it is not going to go anywhere. I mean, that's it. Do not over-tighten these. Right there. Next, we will get our timing belt cover. Probably need to come up here. Move around and this in place. So here is what we're looking for on the cover itself. So if you look at it from this angle, the cover itself should come up over the valve cover. See the corner there? It's up over it. There should not be a gap anywhere along here. So this should be pretty well flush. You know, push this way as you're pushing down a little bit. Get it set. And then you're going to take the clip and clip it. There you go. Right. Last but not least, get your engine cover on. I always use the filler cap for the oil to just make it easier to know where it's going. Now the screws here, when you're screwing it, you know, attaching it, I always, you know, these are very wobbly, so just kind of give it a wobble, get it straight up and down. I will always go backwards once and then push down, and you'll feel it indent and catch. Do the same thing here, same thing here. And there you go. That is done. Move your tools out of the way. Now, here's the moment of truth. I'll come over here to the scanner. We'll see if I can get this cleared out. We are going to clear the check engine light with the ECS Tuning V102 V-Checker. So here's how we'll do it. After you've, you know, already went back, you've gone and scanned the car, you've done the work. Now let us go ahead and erase. So we're going to go down to professor mode. This is not really intuitive, to be honest. You'll think back would be on the left and enter would be on the right. Well, it's the opposite. So this is actually back, this is enter. So we're going to go down to professor mode, go to the first one, engine electronics. You have the read and erase. We're going to go down to erase. Let's wait for it to finish. DTC's erased. So now we should go there, and we can go back and back, and we are finished. So now I'm going to turn off the ignition and unplug the car or the scanner. So basically, after you get your ECU all cleared out with the engine codes, cleared out, what we'll do from there is I will take the car out for a drive, like I'm going over to my parents this evening, so maybe you know, I'll have about a half-hour, 40-minute drive to and from. So, you know, at least drive it for I would say 20 minutes. It may, because that will give it time for the engine to recalibrate, and it will see any faults that'll be thrown in that time. Usually it's 20 minutes, you know, about 20 miles or less. So it may throw it sooner if the code is going to come back. So go ahead, give it a good test drive, and see if that fixes it. If not, then, you know, you'll need to do further troubleshooting. But I am pretty confident in that this is going to fix my particular issue. I do have a couple other little projects here and there that I am going to do to this car here soon. I have done actually quite a few things on this car since I've owned it. But hopefully going forward I can record these and help other people out, because this does apply to a lot of different vehicles that are on the road right now. You know, in this, you know, the Mark IV GTIs and Golfs, and, you know, so hopefully we can do that. Couple things that I'm looking at doing now is I do have some rusted rear parking brake cables those will be replaced very soon. I'm waiting on parts on that. And I do have front brake rotors and pads that I will be ordering. I am going to be going with ECS Geomet rotors, and then some Hawks pads, I believe. So I do have that coming up very soon, at least. You know, look for those as I upload those. Hopefully, if you need to do that particular job on your car, then maybe this will help you out. Like I said, I'll be doing more and more as this car needs it, and I will try to record it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm pretty available. You know, everything comes through messages and comments and everything. So leave a comment if you have a question, or message me directly, and I'll try my best to help you out. As always, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Now I'm going to start up the car. Let's see. Now, this is a cold start, and the engine light is off. ABS, that will be a future video. That was pretty smooth. So I will go ahead, take it for a test drive, and I will put an update after my test drive this evening and see if the check engine light stays off. We'll see how that goes. Again, any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.